Chances are your next patient is looking for you right now, and they're not flipping through a directory. They're on Google. In this explainer, we're going to demystify medical SEO. It's the essential tool for making sure they find you when they need you the most. So, let's dive.
A really important number. Get this, 77% of patients use a search engine before they even book an appointment. That's not just some passing trend, it is the new front door to your practice.
So that begs a pretty critical question for every single physician out there. When those patients are searching for help, does your practice actually show up? Or does your competitors? Our goal today is to make absolutely sure it's you.
All right, so first, let's dig into exactly why medical SEO is so important and really how you should think about its role in your practice. So what is this stuff really? Well, it's way more than just a marketing buzzword. Think of it as your digital infrastructure. Simply put, medical SEO is all the work you do behind the scenes to make sure that when a patient searches for your specialty, your name is the answer they find.
I love this way of thinking about it. Every single time a patient searches, Google makes a judgment call. SEO is just the work of making sure that judgment call goes in your favor, based on all the signals of credibility and relevance that you actually have control over.
And to make that judgment call, Google uses a very specific framework, especially when it comes to healthcare. It's called EEAT, and it's all about building trust. You see, Google has this special category called Your Money or Your Life, or YMYL. And for a very good reason, right? Bad health advice can cause real harm. So Google scrutinizes medical content like crazy. That's why you're often up against huge names like the Mayo Clinic. But you have an advantage they don't. And that advantage is EEAT. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This is your superpower. As a clinician, you have the real first-hand experience and expertise. The whole game is just about making those credentials visible online. Google can't see the diplomas hanging on your wall, but it can read your About Us page.
Okay, so how do we actually make that credibility visible to search engines? Well, it all comes down to a really clear blueprint that's built on 4 foundational pillars.
Think of these as the 4 legs of the table that hold up your online presence. You've got on-page SEO, that's the content on your website. Then there's technical SEO, that's all the behind-the-scenes stuff. The quickest fixes here are making sure your site is mobile-friendly and loads lightning fast, which you can do by compressing your images and keeping your site's code clean. Third, there's local SEO, which is all about showing up for patients in your specific city. And finally, content. Answering the real questions your patients have. Now, they all work together, but for a private practice, 2 of these can make the biggest impact right away.
For most private practices, the pillar with the biggest and fastest return is, without a doubt, local SEO. And the absolute centerpiece of that is your Google business profile. That little box that pops up in Google Maps and at the top of local searches.
Seriously, optimizing this profile is probably the highest leverage thing you can do. Make sure your practice name, address, and phone number are exactly the same everywhere online. Pick the right service categories. Upload some good, high-quality photos, and, this is a big one, actively ask for patient reviews and then respond to them. Just doing this can move the needle faster than almost anything else. Okay, let's talk about that 4th pillar, content. While local SEO gets you found by patients searching for a doctor near me, good content builds long-term trust. It attracts patients who are just at the beginning of their research journey. Oh man, this slide right here highlights the #1 mistake I see doctors make with their websites. You're trained to speak in precise clinical jargon, but your patients search in plain, everyday language. Nobody is Googling myocardial infarction symptoms. They're searching signs of a heart attack. Your content has to bridge that gap. And look, consistency is way more important than intensity. You don't need to become a full-time blogger. Just one solid, helpful, patient-focused post a month is more than enough to build a powerful library of resources over time. Just answer a common question, tie it to a service you provide, make sure it's accurate, and then tell the reader what to do next. That's it.
So you're putting in all this work. How in the world do you know if it's actually working? Well, you have to measure what matters. And I'm not just talking about website traffic. We need to look at your digital vital signs.
Sure, you want to track your organic traffic, but honestly, it's more important to track actions from your Google business profile, things like clicks for directions or phone calls. And the ultimate metric? Your conversion rate. What percentage of the people who find you online actually turn into patients? That's the real return on your investment.
Now, I have to be real with you here.
SEO is a marathon, not a sprint. You might see some small movement in local searches within 3 months, but meaningful growth in traffic usually takes closer to 6. But the amazing thing is that the results compound over time. The work you do in year 1 is still bringing new patients through the door in year 3.
So all of this leads to a very practical question. Should you try to do this yourself, or is it better to hire an agency?
And honestly, the answer just depends on your situation. If you're in a smaller, less competitive town, and you can carve out a few hours a month, doing it yourself is totally reasonable. But if you're in a big, competitive city, and you just don't have the time to do it consistently, then an agency that specializes in healthcare can be a very wise investment. But whether you go DIY or hire a pro, the single biggest mistake you can make is thinking of SEO as a one-time project. It's not. It's an ongoing discipline, just like any other essential part of running your practice. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. You've dedicated your entire life to providing exceptional care inside your office walls. The question is, does your online presence, which is the first impression for most new patients, truly reflect that same level of quality and expertise?
Contact us at info@marketingdrs.com or call us at +1 325 725 7700.